Okay, good morning everyone, or good afternoon if it's in the afternoon na. Okay, so this is the video recording, okay, the very first video recording for our um, chapter 1. Okay, pero part 2 na ito siya, class, and we are going to start with the background in biochemistry. Okay, so let's start. Yan. For the learning outcomes of this chapter, you will learn, or you will have concept in understanding the background of biochemistry. And then after this chapter, you will be able to categorize biomolecules through their functional groups. So, ano yung iba't ibang types ng functional groups, no, na makikita natin that we will see in the structures of the four major biological molecules. Third, you will be able to describe what acids, bases, and salts are. Fourth, you will be able to recognize the importance of ionization of acids and bases. So when you say ionization, the breakdown of compounds, no, or molecules through the insertion of water. Okay? And number 5, you'll be able to compute. Ito, galing pa to ng high school. Since high school, you're already computing for the value of the pH, okay, pOH, and of solutions. Okay? And then, followed by distinguishing buffers from non-buffer solutions. And apply Henderson-Hasselbalch equation in making buffer solutions, and recognize the importance of pH and buffers in the biochemical system. Okay? So, ang main conclusion natin for this chapter is for you to realize how important, anong piniplay na role ng ating pH, pOH, and buffers sa ating katawan, okay, in the biochemical system. So, these are the learning outcomes. Ito yung matututunan ninyo in this chapter. Okay, so let's start. So, ang pinakauna nating topic in this chapter is overview of biochemistry. So, explaining, no, what you will find in the biochemistry subject. Okay, so dito in-explain niya, may definition tayo of the biochemistry. Your biochemistry is a branch of chemistry that deals with the study of chemicals present in living systems and the chemical processes involved in making it alive. So, sabi nga natin, di ba, sa una kong introduction sa inyo before, sa Google Meet natin, your chemistry deals with the living system. It is a chemistry found inside a living system. Okay? So, we will be talking about the chemical processes that are involved in making your living system alive. Okay, in other words, biochemistry is the chemistry of life. All living organisms are made up of 4 biomolecules, namely, number 1, your carbohydrates or sugars. Number 2, your lipids or your waxy substances or oils. Number 3, you have your building blocks of life, which is the protein used for growth of cells. Okay, and then lastly, we have the nucleic acids involved in our genetic material. So, these are the 4 main topics of biochemistry. Okay, next. Okay, so carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, and nucleic acids are all present in all cells of every living organism, together with your molecules such as water and minerals to sustain life. So, para ma-sustain natin yung life ng isang living organism, dapat ang isang living organism is merong carbohydrates, lipids, protein, nucleic acids, water, and minerals inside its cell. Okay? Okay. These 4 biomolecules are composed of organic compounds. So, 'di ba, napag-usapan natin ano nga ang mga organic compounds? Your organic compounds contain your carbon-hydrogen bonds. Okay? Pag sinabi mong organic compounds, These are chemical compounds that contain the carbon-hydrogen bond. Kapag ang isang compound is makikita sa isang living system, that means that compound contains carbon-hydrogen bond. Okay? Okay, next. So sabi niya, your 4 biomolecules are composed of organic compounds which has different functional groups that made them distinct from each other in terms of physical and chemical properties. So ano ba yung mga ano ba yung functional group? Okay? Kapag sinabi mong functional group, ito sila structures na makikita mo, no? These are parts of a structure of a biomolecule that makes it different from other biomolecules. Bakit? Depending on the presence or depending on the type of functional group na present sa structure ng isang biomolecule, nagbabago yung kanyang physical and chemical properties. Okay? So your functional groups helps distinguish your carbohydrates from the others, your lipids from the others, your proteins from the others, and nucleic acids from the others kasi nga magkakaiba-iba sila ng structure. Okay? Iba ang structural they call this, iba ang kanilang functional groups. They contain different functional groups. So later on, we will tackle them one by one and sa kanyo makikita kung ano yung pinagkakaiba-iba ng structure nila. So yan lang ang tandaan. Basta functional groups, you will find different functional group for each type of biomolecule. Okay? Next. So ito yung mga sample natin, no? These are the 10 functional groups that you will find in your 4 biomolecules. So number 1, you have the saturated and unsaturated hydrocarbons. Okay? So ano ba yung saturated and unsaturated hydrocarbon? So this is just simply the chain of carbon and hydrogen bonds. Okay? So, mahaba ito sila na chain ng carbon and hydrogen bonds. Second one, you have your aromatic compounds. Okay? So, natackle na ba ito before? So, pag sinabi mong aromatic compounds class, if you remember the structure of benzene, naalala ba? The structure of benzene, diba? It is composed of a chain of carbon and hydrogen bonds forming a ring structure. So, paano, ring structure yung unique characterization ng aromatic compounds natin. Next, you have the ether. So, ang ether natin, this is, an oxygen atom that is bonded to 2 alkyl groups. So, parang, mas maganda sana na if may picture. But anyway, hindi pa naman ito ang ating main topic. So, binibigyan ko lang kayo ng parang idea. Just to recall. Kasi dapat na-take up nyo ito sa organic chemistry. Lahat ito sila class, these groups, you will take this up in organic chemistry. So, i-refresh lang natin. Okay? So, when you say ether, again, this is an oxygen atom bonded to 2 alkyl or aryl groups. And next, you have your alcohol. Okay, I think familiar naman kayo sa alcohol. Next, we have the aldehyde. So, ang structure ng aldehyde natin, it is a oxygen atom, carbon atom, double bonded into an oxygen atom and has a single bond with a hydrogen and alkyl or aryl group. Okay? So, later on, we will see the structures of this kapag nag-proceed na tayo sa mga next na chapters. Ketone, sige, your ketone class, this is actually a byproduct or a product, product siya ng pag-breakdown ng fatty acids. So, your ketone comes from your fatty acids that has been broken down. So, byproduct siya ng isang fatty acid. Okay? Next, you have your carboxylic acid. Okay, your carboxylic acid class, this is usually a carbon that is double bonded to an oxygen and single bonded into an alkyl or aryl group and has also a single bond sa isang hydroxyl group. Pag sinabi mong hydroxyl group, yan na yung ating OH. Okay? Do you remember? So, i-refresh na natin ang utak natin. Baka nakalimutan ninyo ang mga groups na yan. Okay, next, we have the ester. So, ang ester natin, this is just a carboxylic acid connected to an alcohol. So, kinumbine mo ang carboxylic acid sa alcohol. You will get the ester. Okay, ester functional group. Next, we have number 9, the amine. So, ang amine natin, any structure that contains nitrogen atom. Ang tawag mo dyan is amine group. Okay? And then, followed by yung pinakahuli, amide group. So, when you say amide group, carbon atom siya that is double bonded to an oxygen and single bonded with a nitrogen group. So, ang amide group natin, meron siyang carbon and oxygen, meron din siyang nitrogen. So, yun yung pinagkaiba nila ng amine. Okay? Kasi ang amine natin, wala siyang carboxyl group. Okay? CO, carbon double bonded to oxygen. Okay, so, yan yung mga functional groups na that makes your biomolecules different from one another. So, pwedeng ang isang biomolecule, meron siyang structure na aromatic compound, meron din siyang saturated. So, it depends on the type of biomolecule. Okay? So, I hope nakuha yung idea kung para saan ang mga functional groups. Okay. So, the presence of the functional groups also makes biomolecules acidic, basic, or neutral, and also there are biochemical reactions that happened in the living systems, either acidic, basic, or neutral medium. So, your functional groups, eto sila, nakakaapekto rin sila sa pagiging acidic or basic ng inyong biomolecules. Okay? So, each biomolecule has its simple building blocks. So, yung building blocks natin, you can also call that as the monomers. Okay? Yung mga monomers natin, ang tawag natin sa kanila is building blocks. So, you have a different type of monomer per different type of biomolecule. For example, for carbohydrates, ang kanyang monomer is monosaccharides, simple sugars. Okay? For lipids, ang kanyang monomer is fatty acids. Okay? For proteins, ang kanyang monomer is amino acids. And lastly, for nucleic acids, ang kanyang monomer is nucleotides. So, ang function nitong mga monomer, they build up, kaya building blocks. Kapag walang monomers, walang mapuproduce na polymers, which are your carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, and nucleic acids. Okay? So, balikan ang concept ng polymers and monomers. Okay, next. An in-depth understanding of these 4 biomolecules is essential in the application in relation to the human body and living organisms such as anatomy, microbiology, nursing, nutrition, pharmacology, medicine, agriculture, and other fields. So, 'di ba? Lahat ito sila, iba't ibang klase ito ng study, pero all of them are related to biochemistry. So, ganyan kalawak ang field na ma-cover ng biochemistry. It can be used in different fields of study. Okay? Next. So, let's go to the acids, bases, and salts and its ionization. So, I hope maalala pa ninyo ang acids, bases, and salts. Yung pag-take up natin dito ng acids, bases, and salts, medyo maikli na lang siya kasi nga, this is just a review. Okay? So, I will try my best para maintindihan ng mga bata na medyo kulang ang background sa chemistry. Okay. Acids and bases are vital to any chemistry course because they are useful in everyone's daily life. So, nakikita mo ang acids and bases, ginagamit mo sa katawan mo or sa household, no? Household cleaning itong mga acids and bases. For example, your acids are used in cooking like your vinegar. So, ang vinegar natin is actually acetic acid. And while bases, you can use them for cleaning like your ammonia and lye. Okay? Sila, ang inyong ammonia and lye, yung lye natin, that is the sodium hydroxide or NaOH. Do you remember? So, yan ang lye na tinatawag. Ginagamit siya for cleaning household materials. Like, for example, clogged drain opener siya, no? Ginagamit siyang pang-open ng na-clog na drain. So, yan ang lye. Okay, next. Okay, your acids, bases, and salts also provide us with essential vitamins. Like yung iniinom ninyo na vitamins araw-araw to prevent sickness, vitamin C. And our body also produce and consume acids and bases to maintain delicate balance needed for everyone's good health and well-being. Okay? So, dito, okay, here, the characteristics, no, the differentiating characteristics of acids and bases are given. So, una mo nang define yung acids. Okay, your acids are identified by the following properties. Makikilala mo kung acid yung isang bagay kapag meron siyang properties na ganito. Okay? For example, number 1, your acids will always have a sour taste. Okay? Maasim siya. Number 2, it is rough to touch. Number 3, so your acids will change the color of your blue litmus paper to red. So, maalala pa ba, nagkaroon kayo, diba, before, I hope, ng experiments using the litmus paper. Okay, 'di ba? Maalala niyo yung papel na manipis, kulay blue and kulay red. So ginagamit siya for identifying the acidity and basicity of solutions. So pang high school ito. So ang acids natin, when you place blue litmus paper in an acid solution, the blue litmus paper will turn into red. Okay? Next, number 4. Your acids will react with metal like zinc and magnesium to provide hydrogen gas. Okay? So, kapag nag-react ang acids mo sa metals, nagproduce siya ng hydrogen gas. Okay? Number 5. Okay, your acids also reacts, it also reacts with your hydroxide bases to produce water and ionic compounds. So, ayan. Nagre-react din siya sa hydroxide bases. So, kapag sinabi mong hydroxide bases, ito yung nagko-contain ng OH structure. Okay? So, kapag nag-react ang acid mo with the OH structure, the product will be water and an ionic compound which is what you call salt. Kuha? So, i-take up natin mamaya. Paano na-form ang ating salts from the reaction of an acid and a base. Okay? Number 6. Your acids react with carbonates to produce carbon dioxide. Okay? Kapag sinabi mong carbonate, ito yung compound containing the ion carbonate. CO3, maalala ninyo yan, CO3, negative 2 ang kanyang charge. So, take note of that. When you say carbonate, compound containing the carbonate ion, CO3, with the charge negative 2. Okay? So, kapag nag-react sa carbonate in inyong acid, it will produce carbon dioxide or CO2. Okay? So, these properties are due to the hydrogen ion that will be released by acids in a water solution. Okay, kasi ang acids natin, kapag nilagay mo siya sa water solution, it will give off hydrogen ion or H+. Now, the higher the presence of hydrogen ion class in a solution, okay, mas mataas na concentration ng hydrogen ion sa isang solution, mas magiging acidic ang isang solution, okay? So, write that down. The higher the concentration of hydrogen ions present in a solution, the acidity of the solution also increases. Okay? So, I hope na take note yan siya. Okay, next. Let's go with the properties defining your bases. Number 1. So, number 1, your bases has they have a bitter taste. Okay? So, natikman nyo na ba? May natikman na ba kayong base? I hope wala pa, no? Pero, they actually contain, or they actually taste bitter. Okay? Number 2, they are slippery and soapy to touch. Okay? Number 3, so, kabaliktaran kanina, if your acid turns the blue litmus paper into red, ang bases naman natin, they actually change the color of a red litmus paper into blue. So, tandaan, kapag acid, red. Kapag base, blue ang color. Okay. Number 4, your bases react with acids to produce water and ionic compound, salt. So, pareho rin. So, kapag nag-react ang base into acid, always tayong makaka-form ng ionic compound, which is the salt. And the other product is water. Okay? So, these properties are due to the hydroxide ion released by bases in water solution. So, if ang acid, kapag nilagay mo sa tubig, it will produce hydrogen ions that makes the solution acid or acidic. Ang base naman natin, kapag nilagay mo siya into a water solution, it gives off hydroxide ions. So, kapag mas maraming hydroxide ions, mas nagiging basic ang solution. So, yan lang always ninyong tandaan. Kapag mas mataas ang concentration ng hydrogen plus ions, ang magiging pH level niya is acidic. Okay? Meaning, below 7. On the other hand, kapag mas maraming concentration ng hydroxide ion or OH negative sa isang solution, mas magiging basic ang solution, meaning tataas sa 7 ang pH level niya. Kasi 'di ba, ang 7 ang neutral na pH level. So, any pH level lower than 7 is considered acidic. Any pH level higher than 7 is considered basic, okay, or alkaline. So, ayan. I hope you are getting what I'm explaining. Okay, back natin. Parang meron doong structure, no? Okay. So, dito class, you will see here a water molecule. So, tinatawag natin, okay, yung tubig kasi natin class, dalawa ang property niya, no? Pwede siyang maging basic, pwede rin siyang maging, pwede siyang maging basic, pwede rin siyang maging acid. Okay, now you will see here sa example, meron tayong H2O molecule. Okay? So, ito yung H2O molecule natin. So, dalawa siya. So, pag sinabi nating amphiprotic, yan, ang water ninyo is considered as amphiprotic. A-M-P-H-I-P-R-O-T-I-C. Okay? Meaning, when you say amphiprotic, it possesses both base and acid properties. So, ang tubig natin, pwede siyang maging basic, pwede rin siyang maging acid. And for example, this one. This water molecule acts as a base. So, anong mapoproduce niya? Okay? And pwede rin dito, this water molecule naman acts as a acid. So, in result, dalawa ang maproduce niya. Pwedeng makaproduce siya ng hydronium. Pwede rin siyang makaproduce ng hydroxide. Yung hydronium, ito, when you say hydronium, H3O, yan siya ha. If naalala pa ninyo, ang hydronium ion, do you still remember? So, pareho lang yan ng hydrogen ion. Okay? So, pareho lang ang hydronium sa hydrogen ion. H3O plus ang hydronium natin. And consider din yan siya as hydrogen ion. Meaning, the more na mas maraming presence ng hydronium or hydrogen ion in a solution, mas nagiging acidic ang solution. The more naman na mas maraming hydroxide ion, OH negative, sa isang solution, mas nagiging basic ang solution. So, ang water natin, considered siya as amphiprotic. Kasi nga, pwede siyang mag-accept or mag-donate ng kanyang proton. Okay? So, dalawa ang maproduce niya rin. Makakaproduce siya ng hydrogen ions, makakaproduce din siya ng hydroxide ions. Okay? So, your water solution or simply water, no, it plays a big role in the acidity or basicity of a solution. Kasi nga, ginagamit siya as solvent. Okay? Ang ating water, usually, it is the universal solvent. So, pwede siyang maging solvent ng acids and bases. So, dalawa rin yung function niya. Pwedeng maging proton acceptor, pwede maging proton donator. So, dalawa rin ang kanyang products. Pwede siyang mag-produce ng hydrogen ions, pwede rin siyang mag-produce ng hydroxide ions. Okay? So, saan na tayo next? Okay, so let's go with the different theories about acids and bases. The first theory that we will encounter is about Svante Arrhenius' theory of acids and bases. Okay? So, according to Arrhenius, sabi niya, an acid is a hydrogen-containing substance that dissociates to produce hydrogen ions in aqueous solution. So, according to Svante, yung acid daw, an acid substance, meron siyang mga hydrogen ions na nagde-dissociate kapag nahalo sa aqueous solution. So, ang acids, ang pinoproduce niya is hydrogen ions, making the solution more acid. Yan ang according to Svante. Now, according naman sa kanya, a base is a hydroxide-containing substance that will dissociate to produce hydroxide ions in an aqueous solution. So, kapag nilagay mo daw ang mga base na substances into an aqueous solution or, for example, water, nagbibigay siya ng mga hydroxide ions. And kapag mas maraming presence ang hydroxide ions, nagiging mas basic. Okay? So, for example, you have here the hydrochloric acid. I think nandito ang kanyang... Ayan. Okay, sige, dito muna tayo, class. So, ano ibig sabihin ng dissociation? Separation, okay? Kasi kapag nilagay mo ang acid or base sa isang aqueous solution, nagkakaroon ng dissociation. Ano bang meaning ng dissociation? Naghihiwalay yung kanyang atoms. Okay? Nagsiseparate. So, for example here, we are placing an acid. So, hindi pa ito ano ha? This is just an example. So, letters lang yung ginamit dito. Acid containing hydrogen, tapos the other one is either pwedeng kahit anong substance. So, for example, the HA ito yung example natin na acid. When you place that in a water solution, naghihiwalay yung hydrogen ion niya. Okay? Hydrogen plus. At tapos, naghihiwalay naman yung negative part niya. And sa base naman, ano ang binibigay niya in a water solution? Okay? Either it will give, or the separation of your hydroxide ion will be the result. So, dalawa ang products natin. For an acid, ang product niya, hydrogen. For the base, ang product niya is hydroxide. Okay? So, the hydrogen ions makes your solution acidic. The hydroxide ions make your solution basic. For example, we have here hydrochloric acid. Your hydrochloric acid is an example of a strong acid. Okay? So, diba? Since acid siya, meron siyang hydrogen. Hydrogen chloride. Chlorine plus hydrogen. Okay? So, it is an acid because it turns into hydrogen ion and chloride when it passes to water. So, for example, dito sa kanina, if hydrogen chloride, dapat HCl. Okay, HCl. After niyang nalagay sa tubig, maghihiwalay yung hydrogen and chloride. Chloride, Cl Cl negative. Okay? Another example for your base, sodium hydroxide. Na is sodium, OH is hydroxide. So, it is a base because when it turns into sodium ion and hydroxide ion when placed in water. So, maghihiwalay lang yung sodium and hydroxide. So, yan yung theory ni Svante Arrhenius. Okay. Next. So, ito naman ang theory ni Bronsted-Lowry. So, Bronsted-Lowry theory of acids and bases. So, according to Bronsted, an acid is a proton donor and a base is a proton acceptor. Ang acid ang nagbibigay ng hydrogen ion while ang base ang nag-a-accept ng binigay na hydrogen ion. Okay? Consider the reaction of hydrogen chloride gas with water to form hydrochloric acid. For example, dito, hydrogen chloride. So, G kasi for gaseous or gas. Plus water. So, nag-add ka ng liquid na water. Ang product niya is hydronium plus yung chlorine na atom. So, nakita niyo dyan. Okay. Saan dito ang base? Saan dito ang ating acid? So, ang acid natin dito is your chlorine. Why? Kasi pagdating sa dulo, or hydrochloric acid, pagdating sa dulo, nagiging chlorine na lang siya. So, saan napunta yung hydrogen ion niya? Kinuha ng water. So, ang water natin before is H2O. Pagdating sa products, naging H3O plus na siya. So, meaning, yung hydrogen galing sa hydrogen chloride, napunta sa H2O. So, sino sa kanila ngayon ang nag-donate? Diba? Ang HCl. So, nawalan siya ng proton na hydrogen ion. So, meaning siya ang acid kasi siya yung nag-donate. On the other hand, ang water natin, so diba, tandaan ninyo, ang water natin is amphiprotic. Pwede siyang mag-serve as a base, pwede rin siyang mag-serve as an acid. So, meaning, ang water natin pwedeng maging proton donor, pwede rin siyang maging proton acceptor. But in this case, ano siya? Isa siyang base. Bakit? Kasi tinanggap niya yung hydrogen ion na nanggaling sa HCl. So, diba, nadagdagan siya. So, meaning, nag-accept siya. So, meaning, your H2O here is a base. Ako, ha? So, I hope, I know, medyo mahirap, lalong-lalo na doon sa mga students na hindi na nakaalala ng kanilang acids and bases. Pero, yan. So, yan yung example natin. When a Bronsted-Lowry acid donates a proton, it forms a conjugate base of that acid. When a base accepts a proton, it forms a conjugate acid of that base. A conjugate acid and base are produced as products. So the formula of a conjugate acid-base pair differ by one proton. For example, ayan. So sabi ni Bronsted-Lowry, okay, meron tayong tinatawag na eto, conjugate acid-base pair. Sige, isa-isahin natin. Ano ba ang ibig sabihin ng conjugate acid? When you say conjugate acid, these are species formed when a base accepts a proton. Ako ha? A conjugate acid is a species formed when a base accepts a proton. So, kapag ang base mo nag-accept ng proton, makaka-form siya ng conjugate acid niya. Okay? On the other hand, ang conjugate base naman natin. When you say conjugate base, this is a species formed when an acid donates a proton. Okay? Conjugate base natin, na-form siya kapag ang isang acid nag-donate ng proton. Okay? So, ipakita ko sa inyo saan ang conjugate acid-base pair dito. Okay? So, for example here, consider what happens when hydrogen chloride bubbled through water as shown by the equation. We have HCl plus H2O equals chlorine atom and hydronium atom. Ito, asan ang acid natin? This one, acid 1. Okay? Ang hydrogen chloride ang nag-donate ng hydrogen ion. So, meaning acid 1 mo yan siya. Ang kapartner niya sa, okay, para hindi kayo malito, i-partner ninyo yung nasa reactant na side doon sa product side. So, if you remember, sa chemical reaction, lahat ng makikita mo on the left side is the reactants. Okay? And lahat ng makikita mo sa right side are the products. So, product na ito sila. Okay. So, ang acid natin, hydrogen chloride, ang kapartner niya na conjugate base is ang chlorine. Okay? Kasi ito yung na-form after niyang mag-donate ng proton. Kasi diba sabi natin, conjugate base is formed when acid donates a proton. So, ito yung na-form niya. Meaning, this is the acid, this is the conjugate base. So, ang tawag mo dito sa kanilang dalawa is conjugate acid-base pair. An acid partnered with a conjugate base. Nakuha? So, sino na naman ang kapartner ng H2O? So, ang H2O natin, this is a base. Correct? So, base siya. After dito, ang base natin, nag-accept siya ng hydrogen atom. So, meaning, makaka-form siya ng conjugate acid. Ang conjugate acid niya is ang hydronium atom or H3O+. Kasi, na-form itong hydronium ion nung nag-accept ang base natin na water. Okay? So, base partnered with an acid, magiging conjugate acid-base pair sila. Ito ang base mo, ito naman ang conjugate acid niya. Okay? So, ganyan lang. I-partner mo lang yung reactant sa naging product. Okay? I-partner mo yung acid sa kanyang conjugate base. I-partner mo naman yung base sa kanyang conjugate acid. Okay? So, yan, the conjugate acid-base pairs are HCl and chlorine and hydronium and water. The conjugate base of HCl is chlorine and the conjugate acid of chlorine is HCl. The conjugate base of your hydronium is water and the conjugate acid of water is hydronium. So, pwede mo rin siyang ibaliktad-baliktad, no? So, for example, hydrogen chloride, ang kanya, since acid siya, ang conjugate base niya is ang chlorine. If chlorine naman, since base siya, ang conjugate acid niya is hydrogen chloride. Dito naman, since base ang tubig, ang conjugate acid niya is hydronium. And since acid naman ang hydronium, ang conjugate base niya is ang water. Okay? Okay, lastly, we have, para sa theories, we have Lewis' theory of acids and bases. A base is any substance that has unshared pair of electrons, so electron pair donor. And an acid is any substance that will attach itself to the or accept the pair of electrons. So, baka malito kayo ha. Si Bronsted-Lowry theory, ang pinag-uusapan niya is protons. Okay? Hydrogen. Nakuha? Ang pinag-uusapan naman ni Lewis' theory of acids and bases, ang concern niya dito is the electron. Yung negative. Okay? Yan. Negatively charged ion. So, electrons natin yan. Now, baliktad sa kanya. So, since electron ang pinag-uusapan natin, baliktad yung kay Lewis, no? So, ang base natin, if kanina, acceptor siya, ngayon, siya yung nagdo-donate ng electron pair. Kasi ang base natin, meron siyang sobrang unshared pair of electrons. So, siya ang donor ngayon. On the other hand, si acid natin dito, wala siyang extra na pair of electrons. So, meaning, siya yung manghihingi. Your acid is the one that will attach itself to the unshared pair electron of the base. So, siya yung maghahabol kay base. Siya yung manghihingi ng electrons kay base. Okay? So, nabaliktad na. Base is the electron donator or donor. And then, acid is the electron acceptor. Kuha? For example, in this reaction, ang acid natin is hydrogen ion. And then, ang base natin is ammonia. Tandaan ha, ang ammonia is a weak base, NH3. Ammonia, weak base yan siya. NH3. Okay, so, naging product niya dito, ito ang reactants natin. Ito naman ang product. So, sa product natin, ang naging product is NH4, ammonium. Okay? So, anong napansin ninyo dito? Yung base natin na before, 3 lang ang hydrogen. Pagdating sa product side, naging 4 yung hydrogen niya. Kasi bakit? Tingnan nyo, ito yung mga electron pair natin. Yung dalawang dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, ang meaning ng dalawang dot na yan, bonding yan between the nitrogen and hydrogen. Okay? So, itong dalawang dot na ito, ang nitrogen mo, nakabond na siya sa isang hydrogen. Itong nitrogen, may isa pa siyang bond with your hydrogen. And itong lastly, so tatlong hydrogen. Nakita nyo, may dalawa pang sobra. So, meaning itong dalawang dot na yan, wala pang nakakonect sa kanya. Yan yung tinatawag natin na unshared pair of electrons. Dalawang electron pa ang hindi naka-pair sa isang hydrogen. So, meaning, ito ang base. Kasi nga, meron siyang sobra na electron pair. So, si acid, if nakita nyo sa product, yung hydrogen ion natin dito, nakadikit na siya, naka-attach na siya doon sa unshared na pair of electrons ni NH3 kanina. Kaya naka-form tayo ng ammonium. Nakuha? So, meaning, itong H or hydrogen ion, acid siya. Kasi siya yung nag-attach doon sa unshared pair of electrons. Okay? So, ganyan ang theory ni Lewis. So, hindi siya about protons. Ang binibigyan niya ng focus is unshared pair of electrons. Okay? Sabi niyo, the hydrogen ion is an acid because it accepts the pair of electrons, and the ammonia is a base since it donates an electron pair. Okay? So, yan yung theories. Now, let's go with acids and bases ionization. Okay. Some acids are completely ionized in water. Pag-usapan natin, ano ba ang ionization? Okay. What do you mean by ionization? So, kapag sinabi mong ionization, you are turning a compound into ions. You ionize them. For example, eto, HCl siya dati, yung compound. And then, pagdating sa products, na-turn into ions na siya. Okay? Kasi, may charge. So, yan pala yung pinagkaiba ha, kapag atom, walang charge. Okay? Kapag ions, merong charge. So, itong may mga charge, nakita nyo, positive and negative, ions ang tawag dyan sa kanila. Nakuha? Pero kapag letter lang ang nakalagay, yan ang tinatawag mo na atom. Okay. So, ionization, pinaghihiwalay mo, no, yung HCl natin, compound siya. So, pagdating niya, after ng ionization, nahiwalay yung ions comprising your compound. Yan ang ionization. Okay? So, some acids are completely ionized in water and are referred to as strong acids. Magkakaiba-iba kasi meron tayong tinatawag na strong acids and weak acids. So, kapag strong acids, completely nahiwalay lahat ng ions doon sa compound. Okay? Others are partially ionized and are called weak acids. Strong acids are handled carefully because they can cause severe damage to skin and destroy synthetic fibers like polyester and nylon. Okay, I'm back. Ayan, I'm back. Sorry class, water break lang si ma'am. Okay, let's continue. So, ayan. So, hindi mo pa when you say strong acid, dapat iniingatan siya kasi nga nakakasira siya or it damages the skin of humans. Nade-denature niya kasi it denatures the proteins found in our skin or body parts. Now, example of your strong acids are hydrochloric acid and sulfuric acid. Okay, sulfuric acid, ito siya, H2SO4, and also nitric acid. Ayan, so nakita nyo yung importance. Dapat talaga may background kayo sa periodic table and sa different compounds para hindi kayo mahirapan magbasa ng mga pangalan. Okay, ng mga chemicals natin. Ang dami-dami pa namang chemicals sa laboratory. Weak acids are usually organic compounds which are the type of acids found in biological systems. For example, acetic acid and we have our citric acid. Okay, so yun yung pinagkaiba ng strong and weak acids. Okay, ang weak acid natin class, ito yung mga acids na nakikita sa loob ng katawan. Kasi hindi naman pwedeng, for example, 'di ba? Meron tayong mga acid or acidic controllers sa ating living system. So, hindi pwedeng ang acid na makikita sa katawan mo is strong acid. Kasi, di ba, harmful nga siya sa katawan ng humans. Pwedeng ma-denature ang proteins and enzymes. So, ang makikita mo na mga acids inside a biological system is weak acid lang always. Like, for example, acetic acid and citric acid. Okay? Consider the chemical equation hydrogen chloride when placed in water. Since strong acid ang hydrogen chloride natin, kapag nilagay mo siya sa tubig, it completely ionized. Okay? Meron siyang complete ionization. Okay? Nakita nyo, naghiwalay ang hydrogen to chlorine ion. Okay? So, the reaction is having only a forward arrow indicating that there is no hydrogen chloride molecules in the dilute water solution of hydrochloric acid once it ionized, but only hydrogen ions and chlorine ions. Kapag nilagay mo ang strong acids into water solution, completely na ionize sila. So, wala ka nang makikita na hydrogen chloride, 'di ba, sa product na section. Kasi nga na-ionize, completely ionized na siya. Okay? For example, a water solution of acetic acid dissociates according to the equation. So, dito nakita ninyo, partial, since weak acid itong acetic acid, partial ionization lang siya. Naghiwalay ang hydrogen into acetate ion. Ito ang acetate ion natin, ha. So, since the acid is only partially dissociated, there is a double arrow in the reaction. So, tingnan ninyo, magkaiba ang ginagamit na arrow natin para sa chemical reaction ng strong acids and weak acids. Ayan, o. Kapag strong acid ang nag-dissociate, complete ionization na siya. So, ang arrow natin is only facing forward. Wala nang pabalik na arrow. Kasi this reaction is not reversible. Okay? Hindi ka na makakagawa ulit ng hydrogen chloride gamit itong products mo kasi nga completely ionized na siya. So, ang gamit mo na arrow para sa mga strong acid is facing only one direction, to the right, to the product side. Now, compared to the chemical reaction happening between weak acids and water, you are using double arrowed or double arrow. This means na reversible pa yung reaction. Meaning, pwede ka pang makabuo ulit ng acetic acid coming from your products. Kasi nga, partial ionization lang yung nangyari, hindi complete ionization. Okay? Ayan, o. Since the acid is only partially dissociated, there is a double arrow in the reaction. It means that there are undissociated acetic acid molecules in addition to hydrogen ions and acetate ions in the solution. So, meaning, present ang acetic acid, hydrogen ions, and acetate ions doon sa solution mo sa product side. Nakuha? Hindi lahat nitong acetic acid ang hindi lahat ng acetic acid ang nag-dissociate, ang naghiwalay. May mga natira pa na kaunti kasi weak acid siya. So, reversible yung kanyang reaction. Okay? So, yan yung para sa acids natin. Let's go to the bases. So, kagaya ng acids, your bases are also classified as strong and weak bases. Okay? Bases that undergo complete ionization is called strong base. On the other hand, yung mga base natin na nagpa-partially ionize lang, you call them as weak base. Pareho din sa acids. For example, strong base ang sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide. On the other hand, weak base naman natin, ang example natin dyan is your ammonia and other nitrogen-containing organic compounds. So, yan ang mga weak base natin. Either ammonia or any organic compound na merong nitrogen in their formula, chemical formula. Okay? So, don't worry, maybe I will provide you with, pwede naman kayo maghanap ng list, kahit sa internet, meron yan. List of strong acids and bases, list naman ng weak acids and bases. Okay? Pero, siguro bigyan ko kayo ng picture na nanggaling sa book. May nahanap akong list ng strong acids and bases. Ibigay ko sa inyo yun. Okay? Consider the chemical equation sodium hydroxide. So, ano ulit yung sodium hydroxide? It is a strong base. So, meaning, complete ionization ang nangyayari. sodium hydroxide will turn into sodium ions and hydroxide ions completely. Meaning dito sa product side, wala ka nang makukuha na sodium hydroxide compound. Lahat itong sodium hydroxide mo na turn into sodium and hydroxide ion. So, yan ang complete ionization. The reaction goes to completion. That is why an arrow is facing forward. So, forward din. Or to the right. It means that no undissociated species of sodium hydroxide is found in the solution. Only sodium ions and hydroxide ions. Lahat naghiwalay. When it comes to weak bases, so ang weak base natin, class, they actually do not supply hydroxide ions directly by dissociation. So, hindi sila makasupply ng OH kung hahatiin mo lang sila. Kasi, dito sa example natin. For example, i-ionize mo or ihiwalay mo itong NH3. So, anong maging product niya, 'di ba? Nitrogen and hydrogen lang. Walang hydroxide or OH ion doon. So, hindi sila makakapag-dissociate in the normal way. So, kailangan nilang mag-borrow ng kailangan nilang mag-borrow ng hydrogen ion galing sa water. Ayan yung OH ions na binibigay ng weak bases kapag nag-combine sila with water is coming from the water itself. OH ions are generated by the reaction of your weak base with water, which also forms a weak acid in the process. Okay, for example, ammonia is a weak base. In order for it to produce hydroxide ions sa product niya, manghihiram siya ng hydrogen kay tubig. So, kukunin niya yung isang hydrogen ni water to form a weak acid. Saka pa siya makaka-form ng hydroxide ion. Nakuha? So, if ang weak bases natin nag-combine into water, always kang makaka-form ng isang weak acid din plus yung hydroxide ion. Okay? Okay. So, the reaction does not reach completion as seen in the double arrow. 'Di ba? So, ayan So, double arrow pa rin kasi nga weak base siya, meaning reversible yung reaction. Once the ammonia molecules are placed in water, it forms ammonium ions, which is a weak acid, and only a few hydroxide ions are formed. Most of the ammonia molecules remained unreacted, which means that there's only a very few ammonia species. All weak acids and bases have its dissociation constant. So, ang tawag natin dyan, ginagamit mo dyan na symbol para sa dissociation constant is the letter K. Okay? Dagdagan mo siya ng maliit na a, Ka for dissociation constants of acid. And Kb naman for base. Okay? Kb, dissociation constant for base. Kuha? So, ano ba yung dissociation constant natin? For example, Ka for citric acid is 8.4 times 10 to the power of negative 4. And Kb for ammonia, since weak base ang ammonia, so B ang gamit mo, is 1.8 times 10 to the power of negative 5. Strong acids and bases do not have ionization constants. Tandaan, ginagamit lang natin itong value ng dissociation constants para sa mga weak acid lang. Wala na tayong dissociation constant para sa strong acids and bases kasi nga they completely ionize in a reaction. So yung dissociation constant value para lang sa mga weak acids and bases. Okay? Yan strong acids and bases do not have ionization constants because they are completely ionized. 100% turns into ions. These ionization constants are used in computing for the pH and pOH of solutions for weak acids and bases. So, meaning, ang strong acids and bases ninyo, hindi mo na kailangang hanapin yung kanilang dissociation constant value para ma-compute mo ang pH and pOH level nila. Ako ha, gagamitin mo lang yung dissociation constant natin if you're computing for the pH and pOH of weak acids and base solutions. Okay? O sige, that's the end of the second part. So, try kong i-record ngayon hanggang sa salts natin. Para yan ang part 2. Sige class ha, wait lang. I will change the PowerPoint kasi iba rin ang PowerPoint doon. So, i-stop ko na lang ang recording para hindi masyadong mahaba. Okay, thank you class. Abangan ang sunod na video.